All right, y'all, I'm at the Back to the Land Festival, and I'm with my main man, Randal, over here. I just met him yesterday. This guy is a human dynamo. Cooked everything for just about everybody here, and at the same time, took everybody and is like yanking stuff out of the forest that we can literally eat. Randal, what are we looking at here? This is astonishing. I'm eating these things, and I've never had them before.
One wonderful flavor. These are some wild grapes that grow here in Middle Tennessee, and these are the original grapes, just as God intended them to be, and have a very, very strong flavor, like a Concord grape, and it has a nice pit on the inside, kind of like a nut grape.
Well, can you eat those?
Oh yeah, they're fine. Yep. Okay. So. Well, you know the word nut grape, right? Or grape nuts.
Finding out the hard way.
These are super sweet, and they're called a winter grape. And in just in one little area, I harvested about 30 pounds of them, and there must be about 120 pounds left just in one area. But if they stay up there for another couple of weeks, they'll just turn into raisins. But these are perfect for making jams, jellies, and stuff like that, and all kinds of preserves. It's just excellent forage food.
Fantastic.
And the flavor is just super rich on these. Different things that we found here, just growing in the neighborhood. This is some red cedar, and the red cedar is actually a juniper, and we have juniper berries. And the juniper berries, you can, of course, that's the main content of flavoring in gin, but it's a perfect herb for spice for using for wild game, and even roasting vegetables and things like that. I make tea out of it and everything. Over here we have some staghorn sumac. I left a few leaves on here. This can be used as a citrus flavor for making a type of tea. The Native Americans and everything would make a tea out of this. It had a lot of vitamin C in it, so that's where they got their vitamin C for later on in the year.
Wow.
It's really, really a nice thing. Very citrusy, very lemony.
Could I eat this right now?
These have already been rinsed once, so they don't have much flavor. They've already been in the water. So here's another nice little look here. And then I also found a whole bunch of milkweed, the milkweed pods. The milkweed pods themselves are not edible at this stage, but many parts of the plant are. But what the pods are great for is that they have a little fluff on the inside, and that can be used as a stuffing for your pillows and everything. And during World War II, this fiber on the middle of it was actually used for almost all of the life preservers that were made during World War II. So this is a really wonderful plant for foraging. And below that, I pull it out here, we have some different kinds of mint.
It's like some kind of basil.
That's some basil that came out of my garden.
Huh.
But there's actually two different kinds of mint. But down here, this is Perilla mint, which is growing wild everywhere around here.
Wow.
And Perilla mint, it comes from the Orient. But it's actually a cash crop in all of Japan and everything. But it smells like licorice and anise. And if you take this, take your hands and do this to it, and then crush it and smell it. And it is very licoricey.
Good night. It smells like anise.
Yes, very much like anise. And so you can use this in teas, use it in spices. And this is just growing prolifically. It's considered a noxious weed in many places.
So people are walking past a lot of this stuff that we can eat, use. I mean, fiber, you name it. It seems like it's all right there.
Yeah. Well, the early cultures in any country, before there was Walmart, before there was any of the big stores, people, for the most part, went out and foraged for everything. If they wanted cloth, they found plants with bast and other fibers, and they made everything. And there's literally enough stuff right around here now that we just looked at today to make clothing, to make bedding. There's just so much, and to make light, and torches and everything, and food. So
now these are dying skills, clearly. Now in this world where we go down, we expect curry in a hurry. Now, where did you learn this? Is this a lifelong type thing? Have you had to teach yourself, or?
Yeah, I taught myself. When I was 4 years old, I grew up in Northern California on a farm, a vineyard actually, And I just happened to be around people who like to forage. They didn't call it foraging then, but my mom would say, it's an hour before dinner, son. And I knew what that meant. I had an hour to go out and just find out what was growing out in the woods or wherever
Wow.
else. And I just took to it naturally. And then there was a lady down the street, a farmer's wife, who'd come over. We called her an aunt. And she knew a lot of stuff too. And then throughout my life, I just gravitated towards that. And then, good heavens, I started reading all these different books. Firefox series when they came out, and then Yule Gibbons and everything like that. I got into that. And then when I was in the military, they taught me survival skills, and so that bumped me up another level. And then ever since then, all through my 30s and 40s, and I'm in my 60s now, I've just been studying this with a passion. And there are people that know a lot, but they're dying out. And there are books that are written today, but they don't have much information. It's just copy-paste. So I read and study what's called ethnobotany, which is the history of how people have used plants in their everyday lives. So not just medicinally, but for everything else.
Well, this man is a formidable autodidact, folks. And here in a minute, we're going to show you how he creates light with some cool, natural stuff. So stick around for that. This dude has more tricks than a cat in a hat. And I am floored. I mean, you can basically walk this gentleman out into the woods with a bottle of, what is it, sauce of any kind. I mean, we could have you, I was talking to Nicole sauce, so I thought sauce, but I was thinking salad dressing, and we can come out fat, right?
Yeah.
So what are we looking at right here, Randall? This is cool.
This is a stalk of mullein that grew this year, and and it's known as the torch plant. And for thousands of years, tens of thousands of years, people have been putting wax, lard, tallow, and stuff like that in it. And so I just did the simple thing and put some regular wax into it. And the idea being that it's so porous and so strong that this will burn about 1 inch every 45 minutes.
Wow.
And it's almost impervious to wind and rain. I've had one of these out in the wind. I was blowing the flame totally sideways, and it was raining really hard, and it didn't go out. So the nice thing about this, if you were to have tallow or wax all the way down, this would burn for about 4 to 5 hours. And the history of this goes back even to the Romans. We carry this in processions and ceremonies and stuff.
Wow.
So, and they have found the charred remains of this in caves that go back tens of thousands of years. There were people who were, pre-humans almost were using this stuff. It's certainly early hominids. And,
Well, pre-humans, but this man is superhuman, because not only did he prepare 90% of the food out here, he did a wild foraging class, which sadly I missed because I was over there messing with the pig. But I gotta know, could we use some of that pig fat that we just had a little while ago? Could you use it for the same purpose?
Yeah, sure can.
Wow.
Yeah, any type of lard, tallow, or anything like that can be used. It'll burn rates vary. One of the longest rates on here that I've ever experienced is using different kinds of pitch from trees and saps, and taking those and mixing them in and impregnating this. And in theory, I've never done it all the way down, but the ones I've burn for over an hour an inch.
This is cool. So, Randall, for the people out there, that, believe me, they are going to lose their minds when they find out the full extent of what you do. This man is a legit chef. I mean, I feel like that little yellow fat Pokemon named Pikachu after all the food I just ate that he made. So, with that said, I mean, I know we can go out in the woods. You do a lot of wild foraging. Do you teach this? Is there a way people could contact you? Is there a way for them to reach out to you to take some of your classes?
The easiest way to get hold of me is email me at mywildweedwalks@gmail.com. It's mywildweedwalks, all lowercase. And I can send you information on classes and that I do in Nashville area. And also I can come out to your property or house and take a look at what plants you have going there, or just do a simple forage in your area.
I love that, My Wild Weed Walk. But I'll tell you right now, every Hooter bandit I know in Oklahoma and Texas is going to be wanting to get a hold of you right now. They're going to be misunderstood about what all that means.
It's fun. I'm up to over 400 plants just to the Middle Tennessee that I know how to do something with. And my goal is to get up to 400 that I've been introduced to. So
well, you also, 1,400. I understand you also have a book coming out, and it's. Why don't you tell us about it?
I have a book. My first book will be coming out in January or February, and it's called The Essentials of Foraging. And it's going to be the first book of its kind. It teaches you in 70 units how to forage, not what plants to look for. And what to do with them. It's not about individual plants. It's the skills that you need as a person to learn how to forage, to be understand the communication and language of nature, and understanding seasons, habitats, the environment, life cycles of the plants, and also what parts of the plant, not the plants themselves, but what parts of the plant come into forage during what times of the year.
That is astonishing.
So, once you get this book, then my next book after that will be actually the plants, called Diary of a Forager, and that'll go 1 season or 3 months, and I'll have about 400 plants per season just for the Mid-South area.
Folks, you don't know what you missed. I mean, this is so cool. If I don't go up like a Roman candle right now with some of the stuff sloughing off of there, it's all good.
You're not,
I'm not wearing fleece, I hope.
You're not that flammable.
I hope not. I don't know. I ate enough of that swine over there. I got enough, believe me. I got it coursing through my veins right now. Well, folks, this is the man. I just spoke to the woman a little while ago. This is what y'all missed out here at this Back to the Land Festival. And if you don't mind, what else we got here?
These, I have a lot of wild food that I'm bringing up here too. These are maypops. They're the fruit of the passion flower. They are in season right now, nice and sweet. This is what Hawaiian Punch is made out of. This is the single flavor for Hawaiian Punch.
You just pulled that out of the woods,
Yeah,
huh?
I just got it out of the woods. So actually not in the woods. I got it in a field, but these like full light. And then I also have some wild grapes over there that I harvested. I harvested about 30 pounds of wild grapes, and these are winter grapes. So, but all locally harvested, all sustainably, all fun. So
this is so cool. I mean, so this thing is honestly just burning this whole time, folks. We haven't clipped, we're not cutting takes or anything. This is the coolest thing ever. So you know where to find him. Folks, next time you want to make sure you try to make this thing, because this is the kind of cool stuff you're learning out here. So until next time, this is Billy, the Permaculture Pimp Daddy, where PIMP stands for Permaculture is My Passion. We'll see y'all next time.